need to build for one device. You can always say, for example, you build me for and all G, I think G star device, okay, and G1 star. So it will actually compile for I think I just gave one thing, but yes, if that's not compilable, at least it will tell you, you can how many devices compile to it, and you will be able to build for all of them at once in the configuration you want. And this is actually helps a lot in a release time where no manual steps should be required. So this is what we have. Let me finally go through some of the questions. I don't know whether there are more. So I have one question from Jagjit Singh, who says, any tips on porting for devices which have dual interface, touch and keypad? As I said, our framework does not differentiate, whether it is a touch screen or something. If you think, you need to have a special, definitely you need to have a special handling for touch and dual interface. You actually have a sub module called touch in the porting, and try to put all that code there. So that way what happens is, as I said, we are not assuming anything other than saying anything can change anytime. But however, you have to follow the reusability principle, so that once you think touch is a different class of devices, I don't need to now go with mobile and source, as a OEM level. I can always create porting, or another thing called touch, and then start addressing. Or if it is within Alcatel you have a touch, you can have one more category called touch. So that way I think you're dynamically evolving. And then what happens is, because if it is a touch device, the common methods will actually refer to the specialization of that will refer to touch way of doing things, rather than keyboard way, key way of doing it. So basically, our framework, as I said, we have encapsulated fragmentation in object-oriented way, and your focus should be, yes, if this is the category, try to have the reusability as much as possible across all the touch devices. Don't limit yourself to touch devices of Android or particular HDK. You may still have it at that level, but you should also move it to common level. So I think, yeah, we have covered all the questions. If there are any, I'm not sure,
There are few other questions shared with you. Can you please see them in the questions pan?
Okay. As a mobile application developer, how would I get a correct platform for? Okay, let me go through any tips on porting devices touch. That is answered. As a mobile application developer, how can I identify correct platform for third party? So as I said, it is a business issue. You have to work with the business, understand their short-term and long-term goals. However, even if it is vague, this approach will help you to refactor. For example, if suddenly you understand that some of the resource has to be reused, or some of the code has to be used, this configuration can be moved to something else. You can just simply refactor that. So basically, I'm saying, yes, everything is so dicey. Don't depend on a static way of doing it, and the static way is defined by the plugin. Look at the dynamic way of refactoring, so that you are at a safer way of handling this complexity. As I just told, we change the generic device, so that's where if you really see it, the build system will actually do all that magic for you. So basically, because once you are confining to one class alone, so then you are able to just change that one line with we have used simple and replace command, where wherever you find generic device method, you replace it with device specific. And because you are giving a device name, it will actually prefix device name called, and then identify that corresponding class. Yes, I would say, can I port J2ME to app to Android? I would say, please don't look at it as a porting effort. Look at it as an architectural challenge of reusing maximum code across these two, and that is where this framework helps. And can you explain what is the pre-processing? Yes, as I said, this is another way of eliminating selectively the code at compile time. But however, it is like you are transforming the ifs of the language into preprocessed language, which is actually breaks IDEs. And there are no standard for pre-processing, which will have more problems. Okay, I think one question I see it. I have created an app in Android 2.3 which used a few APIs in 2.3. Can I install an application in Android 5 without publishing it, without publishing again? So if you have used Android 2.3 API, I mean, I think definitely Android 1.5 API installation will break. And first of all, even at a compilation time, it will break. And but our approach where we say, if you want to have used only few applications, few API of 2.3, 2.3 has exposed hundreds of API. If your application has used only some of them, then actually, one approach is, you can actually have 1.5 implementation of those methods, if possible. Otherwise, you can always say, boss, this feature is not available. So that implementation can say, this feature is available in the higher version of Android by throwing an exception. So that is where I'm saying, yeah, if you say 1.5 you want to downgrade, you still implement those methods. If, I mean, and then yes, you have for 1.5 you can actually throw the exception. See, for example, let me come back to this compilation where I just said compile it for G1 star. It has taken all the devices which are complying, and then it may not so if your code has not written properly, then it will break because it is using Android 1 SDK features and class path, and that API will fail. So that is the power of see, this actually also helps you on the release management. Oh man. So I think we are done, Keshav. All the questions are answered. I don't know if I am missing anything else. I said one key takeaway is please look at fragmentation as a way to use object-oriented to its extreme. And though I am saying it is extreme, the solution is very simple because we have already realized it.
Have shared a couple of more questions. Please check.
Okay, I think there is one. Okay, I think yeah. So will they come in the top or bottom? Okay. Okay, I see one more.
If you sort the
question,
questions,
any FOSSS and plugin?
I'm saying if you sort the questions on a received basis, then you will find all the questions.
Done. Okay. I'm seeing some more. Okay. Where can I get a sample script for some of the tutorial steps for the same? I would say though it is a script, it is a massive script with custom things. Maybe I think, yeah, if we understand you more, we can help you on that. But yes, definitely, there are very powerful scripts to give you that level of simplicity. And is there any open source and plugin available to perform the code parsing and generate new code? If you really see, Ant of Android has got all the Ant, but again, see again for the sake, they also give you Ant version of compilation. They also give you the plugin approach. But however, they don't keep so much of the SDK variants in mind. And we actually use their source code, their initial Ant script, and then plug in our logic. So basically you have to start from the script what they give and then apply these principles and then you're done. Yes, definitely by basic Ant script cannot help you because again that depends on, we have actually, for example, as I said, you change the class path, you change the source code minimal. I'm saying you don't change the source code 100%. You change only in 1 or 2 places. But when you are debugging, you should have that source code, otherwise you will have a problem. So we have actually this plugin also reverse engineers and then gives you the source code which is applied per device. if I really, I can take you to that, for example, so most of them will come one after the other. So we also never thought, we will bring out this framework, but once we started seeing how what is the IT waste being created by our resources, we said, let's fix it. We don't want, my resources to spend time on trivial things. So can you explain what is FOSS? So is there any FOSS and plugin available to perform this? I mean, I don't know. Okay. So, oh, I think, yeah.
It is free and open source software. Explained by Soumya.
Oh, okay, okay, fine. No, definitely, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, ours is a script, but definitely we can think about it. Uh, maybe this is the first initiative we have. So maybe I think I missed some of them. I think somebody has reminded me. Yeah, due to clean code and separated code, I mean, there are no induced bugs. When you are porting for one device, that will not induce bugs on other. And yes, we say, this is, though it is particular to Java, it can be applied to iPhone with reference to at least resource reuse. For example, text resources. And what we gave you is the tip of the iceberg. And then, but a lot of fragmentation issues can be solved by this simple approach. Never forget inheritance overriding, and don't misuse them, overuse them. It's a byproduct of Tejasoft's work in delivering enterprise grade application. Please, I think, whatever we are saying, they are applicable to enterprise grade applications, not for the mobile games, because they are only meant for, very short-lived. But enterprise application, they will have, 2 to 10 years of, life, and you cannot keep investing 200 to 500K. And so this actually is, this is our approach of saying giving factors for benefits, half the efforts and double the results. So yeah, so that is where we have. And okay, let me go through a few more questions which have come in. So anybody who want more information, please do contact us at the feedback.techgig.tejasoft.com. We will try to help you as much as possible. There is nothing for now. As I said, the free and open source is creating different avenues. But I'm sure, I don't know whether anybody can invest, so much, because many things are changing and proprietary in nature. So this approach, because it is AND-based, it will work with every. I mean, again, it's for an advanced user. It can work with every ID. IntelliJ, we use very frequently IntelliJ. It works with it. And I would always recommend, IntelliJ as opposed to Eclipse. That's my favorite. But however, I think I know Eclipse is very popular, but for us it doesn't gel well. But I think it must be equally powerful. But for me, I think, IntelliJ is very, very god for us, and it is very, very powerful. And especially if somebody would have used structural search, they should start using it. So Keshav, I think all the questions are covered.
Yes, we may wait for a minute to see if there are any other questions coming from the attendees. Else we can conclude the session now,
Okay.
and we can take the other questions offline.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, please use that feedback email. As I said, yeah, please keep this is for enterprise grade applications, and look at fragmentation as a way to take advantage of object oriented. So these are the two key takeaways. Okay, I think I think yeah, we are getting some feedback of Soumya saying that it's an excellent presentation. Thank you for that. And I'm saying, yeah, please do. I'm saying be cautious in sharing these details to your managers. I'm not against managers, but I know how IT works. But as I said, because you are a developer, I know your efforts. My heart is for the developers. Try to use maximum these kind of simple principles, and you will have a lot of time to even please your boss. So yes, I think I want to at least have one question. In case you find any other challenges in applying these principles, please do share it to us. We will see how we can best provide you solution. So, but we have okay, Lalit Verma. Okay, yeah, Lalit Verma says thank you for such an informative session. Yes, it was an excellent presentation. Thank you. Atul is saying that. Thank you, all of you.
Okay, so now we can conclude the session. I would request the attendees to post their questions on this email ID which is mentioned on the slide, and those questions can be taken offline and answers will be posted on techgig.com.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Bye.
Thanks Mr. Raja Nagendra for an informative session. We would also like to thank our participants for making this webinar a huge success. The recording of this webinar will be made available on techgig.com by tomorrow. Next webinar on TechGig is on the topic the future desktop. It would be held at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Speaker would be Bright Augustus, Lead Business Productivity Group at Quadra. So see you all tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you.